Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to name the 5 things you must do to prepare for your draft. The very first thing you need to do is know your league rules and settings and exactly how scoring works. The reason is because let's say the touchdowns could be worth 6 for a quarterback or 4. That's going to weight it differently. Or maybe it's a 2 quarterback league. Is there 3 wide receivers or is it 2 wide receivers and a flex and a running back? You want to make sure you know this going into the draft. Especially because if it's a 2 quarterback league, your draft strategy is going to change completely. Also, is it a PPR league? You want to know all these rules before going into your draft. So make sure you look at your settings in case you're just joining your buddy's league or your work league or a money league at all. Make sure you do mock drafts. I cannot tell you how important it is to do these. Don't just do it like a couple weeks before. Do it a day or 2 before your draft to see how the ADP has changed. You can look at the charts and it could say like, oh, you know what? Hopkins is going to go like in the 5th round. That could easily change. He could jump up to 4 or he could drop down to 8. You never know what's going to happen. So if there's somebody you're eyeing, do a mock draft or a couple before you do your actual draft. Make a cheat sheet. This is what you want to do to make sure that you know the rounds you're trying to get guys. So that way you have an idea on like, okay, if this happens, I know I got this guy, this guy, and this guy in the 3rd round if I need to go with them. So that way you know how to structure your team. This is also very important in case you're doing a live draft. Have that for when you're doing that there, because when it's online, it's a little bit easier, but when you're in the live draft, you need to have that in there with you. Make sure you do some research and look to see what has happened with the league or just get updates, because a lot of things happen with the draft, the off season, a lot of different signings, a lot of players change teams. So make sure you do that. For example, if you see Davante Adams there in like the 1st or 2nd round, you're just like, oh, I want to grab him, but you don't remember that, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo is his quarterback now. It may not be as good of a deal anymore. You don't want to do that because you don't want to forget that very important fact. And when you're doing this research, listen to a podcast like the Fantasy Footballers, or heck, you can subscribe to my channel. I'll try to help you out. But there's too many different content creators out there trying to help you win your league, and you just need that advice going before you go into your draft. Develop a draft plan. So know if you're going to go in with running back, and you know like you want wide receivers later in the game. The worst thing you can do is go in there without a plan. All of a sudden you draft wide receiver, and now you have no idea what running backs you want. Make sure you have that set up in case you run into that scenario. Like, okay, like if I get wide receiver first 2 rounds, I'm going to draft 3 running backs back to make up for that. Make sure you know who's available there, because you don't want to be freaking out or trying to make last-second decisions because you didn't go in with a plan in case it doesn't go the way you want. So make sure you know if you're going to have to go running back heavy or is your running back strategy. You guys, that's it for the huddle. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next huddle. Ready, break!